Hi everyone, my name is Natalia. I work in Swiss office, and yeah, let's have fun today.
Okay, thank you. And Marta, hi.
Let's not forget to unmute myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Marta, and I'm located in Krakow office in Poland. I'm also a senior BA. On top of helping with the soft skills stream, I'm also a technical interviewer, and recently I also became the expert. So happy to share my experience. If you have any questions, thank you.
Thanks. So, guys, let's take next 3 minutes for collecting first questions, and then let's vote for them. So, please find the link in our chat. So, if you have no link, let me share it one more time.
Yeah, and wanted to highlight that you can add questions on any of the topic, communication skill, presentation, or soft skills development.
Yep. Not to mention that it is actually a very important and very close to my heart topic in general, the communication skills, because you know that as the business analyst, we are expected to build the bridge between the business and between the technical side of the projects, right? And how we can do it better than by communication. And that's why it has been identified that majority of the projects has been failed exactly because someone didn't communicate well enough, the missed deadlines, or was not communicated when it comes to expectations from the customer, the expectations were not captured well enough. So really, a lot of those issues could be avoided if we would be able to communicate with one another better. And I see that we already have a couple of questions on the board. Happy to see that.
Good question.
Yes.
I like the first one.
We can start discussing the first one, for example, and just not wasting time for waiting for others.
Oh, difficult to choose. Each of them has one vote.
Yes. If someone can just vote for any of these ones.
The first one, the second one actually has already 2
Yes.
votes now. So yeah,
Let's start.
fear of presenting.
Yes. Okay. What to be? So with the fear of presentation, what to do? I guess. What to do with the fear of presenting?
Marta, Natasha, do you want to kick off?
Sure, I can start from my perspective. First of all, this is not something unusual. I think even people that have a lot of experience with presenting, they are still have, they are stressed about the fact of presenting. From my opinion, the best way to overcome it or find a way to deal with it is to really prepare yourself very well, because the act of presenting is the act that there can be many things happening that can distract you. If you are well presented, if you are well prepared, if you know what you're talking about, if you train what you want to say, there's less possibility for you to be distracted or surprised with some unexpected event. When I started as a BA and when I had to prepare workshops, I was always afraid of questions that I don't know answer to. That was something that when I'm going to present, someone will ask me a question that I don't know the answer to. And with the experience comes that this is okay to actually not know the answer, that it is okay, you have to admit it, you just say, well, I don't know the answer, let me check it for you and let me come back to you. So for me, something that was always stressing me about was this scare that I would be surprised with the question. And once I actually understood that I don't have to have answer to every question, it is okay not to know it, and actually admit it and then come back to the person with the answer once I know it. This also helped me, for example.
Yeah,
Thank you, Marta.
Yeah, what I also wanted to add, yes, of course, I would agree on preparation, but still I would insist not to learn everything by heart, just to keep the agenda in your mind and stick to the points. And make sure that you are able to swim in between those topics. And also, what is a very useful practice for before the presentation, videotape yourself, like record yourself on the mobile phone, try to present it for a video, and without this feeling that you're scared of a big audience listening to you, just try to do it for yourself and watch it, see what are your pain points, where it can be improved, and you can do it several times. And of course, I think this is like the second question about improvisation. It's also very important. And I think when we will get to that question, we will also discuss this, not to be afraid, to have fun of those moments that are not were that you did not prepare for them, that were not in your mind before, that are happening accidentally. Just try to have fun with that and relax and like those moments.
And I would have to definitely agree that preparation is one important aspect. But in addition to that, notice the fact that we not always have the possibility to control absolutely everything. We will not be able to prepare absolutely everything. And we will not be able to be ready for any situation that will come during the presentation, right? We need to avoid having this analysis paralysis where we are actually spending way too much time trying to present and to master something that we potentially might be out of our control. But what is important is, instead of being afraid of, okay, I will do a presentation and what will happen if people will see that I'm nervous, or what will happen if people will see that, 3 months from now, something, I will say something incorrectly and there will be some consequences 3 months from now. It is important to bring yourself to the moment, not to think about what will happen in the future, what will happen, 1 year from now. Just focus on here and now. There is one good public speaker who has a trick that every time before he appears on the stage, he does 100 push-ups. Just because then when he goes on the stage, he is not stressed about how the presentation will what kind of reaction the presentation will be, but what will be with his breath, because he feels the shortness of breath while presenting, right? So I'm not encouraging you to do 100 push-ups before any kind of public speaking, but just think how you can actually bring yourself to the moment. Focus on the fact that actually, yeah, it is nothing wrong to be stressed, but it's if you will acknowledge this fact that you are doing a public presentation, it can help you to stop spiraling out of control with the stress itself. And you just acknowledge something that, yeah, okay, I'm about to do something of an importance. I'm about to do an important presentation. So yeah, let's do it. Let's make it as best as we possibly can. At EPAM, I did 170 training sessions. I did over 30 town hall meetings when I was the coordinator and the main presenter of the town hall meeting. And you might think that Jan has it all, like he has great presentation skills. He's even teaching about presentation skills, right? Wrong. Every single time after every training I finish, I feel the adrenaline just leaves my body, and I feel like someone just presses the off switch on my power button, and I'm like, just because of how stressful and how energizing that experience is. But you can stress out and be paralyzed by it, or you can use that stress to your advantage. And that's the approach that I would like to suggest: to acknowledge anxiety and use it for your benefit.
If you don't mind, I just wanna share my also not experience, but knowledge related to this question. So several days ago, I just watched a cool lecture about imposter syndrome and speaking about presenting. So sometimes we have this fear of presenting just because of this imposter syndrome, and we can divide it into two parts. The first part, it's like while presenting itself, and then just about Q&A. And while presenting, so usually we, especially if we are not native speakers, English native speakers, so we are caring about, I don't know, so how it will be, how not to make a mistake in English, so how people will get and learn this information and something like that. So, but still, so sometimes even just while presenting in a second, we understand we had a mistake in English. So, but still, it's not a problem at all. Just because so you are strong in expertise you're presenting right now. So you have been invited as a speaker. So, and people, I mean, your audience, just they wanna listen to you. Not like they don't care about I don't know, any English mistakes. So they are trying to focus on your presentation firstly. So, and the second part here, so Q&A. So just speaking about Q&A, of course we're caring about our English, but still, so the second point here is like, especially for people from CISC region. So it's like just based on our nature to care about so if I can't answer question from the audience, what should I do? But still, we should get the situation that we can't be 100% expert in particular topic. It's okay if you don't know like answer for the question. Just keep in mind the answer for a particular situation. So please let me some time to learn particular topic and I will answer you later. So it's okay that you can not to answer something. So that is why just don't get this case as your own fuck up. So we can't be like too fully smart. So
good to know we can use that language on the meeting. Awesome.
Yeah, so but still you have raised hand.
Yeah, just wanted to mention one important aspect in regards to actually what Marta has said about the preparation and about preparing yourself. Like there is definitely tons of materials and tons of recordings on YouTube, TED Talks, whatever, where you can learn from them on how to master your presentation skills, right? One important aspect, you will not learn how to ride a bicycle by watching a YouTube tutorial. It is very important to just try it by yourself. And if you will fail, that's nothing wrong. Try again and again and again. And over the course of the time, like I became a trainer at EPAM back in 2015. And when some months ago, I saw the presentations which I did in 2015, I was like, Jesus, I mean, that's really crap. There are two presentations on video portal, Be the Change You Want to See in the World, with that title. One is from the IT Week in 2017, and one is from Learning Week this year. You can go and see, if you'd be interested, both recordings and to see how with practice you can improve your skills just by doing this time and time again.
Thanks, Natasha.
Yeah, and also you reminded me very shortly technique that I learned from Itzhak Pintasevich. He's a trainer and he's training people to do good public presentations. So the technique is like you take a deep breath and you remember one big victory that happened into your life. Maybe it's like you graduated from the university with an excellent diploma, or you got the dream job, or any other event when you felt like, yes, this is me, this is my victory, I'm so happy. So you remember this, then you raise your hands and you say, hooray! And you, I think, say it 3 times and repeat this 3 times right before the presentation. So it encourages you and it makes you more confident. It remembers that you are worthy, that you are good in lots of things, and it helps you to present better.
Thanks, Marta.
Something that also maybe we can mention is that in the process of presenting, we can also ask for feedback other people, right? So if we know that there is someone around us that can spend some time with us and actually listen to us presenting and have a basically like a rehearsal of your presentation, and they will in a very constructive way provide you feedback on, okay, maybe you can work on that and improve yourself in that regards. That can also can help you to get better.
Okay, thank you. Just guys, I just want to remind that you also can share your own opinion and experience. So please just raise your hand and go ahead. So next question is, so any tips for good self-presentation for the assessment?
sorry, I'm laughing, but as a country discipline head for the assessment and as committee head for 3 committees, I saw so many presentations, and I saw, unfortunately, I'm very sorry to say, 80% of them were way below my level of expectations. Not even, okay, you might say, again, trainer, public speaker has a high expectation levels, but no, my expectation is not aligned with from that point of view. It's just I expect that a business analyst will know how to present themselves, will know how to advertise themselves, especially also in the case that we have a lot of good trainings about how to be how to make a good presentation as a candidate, how to advertise yourself. There's this training, Human Factor of a Job Interview, which I also very much recommend you to watch on Video Portal. And for majority of reasons, I see candidates who are just using the template that is added in the assessment portal, and they are reading the content of that presentation. What's the point? I mean, I see what is written on the slide. I don't want you to read me what is the content over there. And as a business analyst, I expect you know how to make good presentation. So that template, yes, it is there, but only from my point of view, at least. Again, as a committee head, country discipline head, that's my point of view, that it is there for those people who absolutely lack any kind of presentation skills to use as a suggestion. But still, there are ways how we can enhance that, improve that, and make that template more entertaining. In my career at EPAM, I had a senior lead chief BA assessment, and I never, had like none of the presentations I used were the same. Like every single time I changed something, I enhanced something, improved something. So it's definitely a good thing is to make a presentation about yourself in the style that you will have, right? There is no, again, one good or bad type of presentation. It's just you need to identify what is your style and how you want to advertise yourself. And by all means, do not read the content. The presentation itself should be, and it's in general to all of the presentations, should be just an enhancement to the message that you want to provide. And you definitely should not overburden the audience with too much text on the slide, because then the audience will not know whether they should listen to what you have to say or what you present on the slide, and our mind will not be able to comprehend with both at the same time. Some experts will read the content of the slide, some experts will listen to you. So it's important to use the presentation to enhance the message that you are providing when talking about yourself. That would be like my biggest tip in regards to the self-presentation. And second one, don't use the template. Do it by yourself.
Thank you, Jan. Marta, you also have raised hand. You're on mute.
Yeah, thank you. So actually, from my perspective, the one self-presentation that I actually experienced to see and saw not long ago was a very short and very precise presentation. So the person really found the topics that, from her experience, were the crucial when it comes to going into the next level. So she really pointed out, I think, three things that, in her opinion, were confirming that she is ready to move forward. And it wasn't a very long presentation. There was really one slide really in it, and she just pointed out those points that she wanted to mention. I think in self-presentation part of the assessment, it is important that you are confident, that you understand what you are talking about, that you don't want to talk about your whole career at EPAM, because this is not the the moment. There will be additional questions that interviewers will be asking you throughout the assessment, so that can be clarified. But I would say that you have this 5 minutes or few minutes to present yourself, so just focus on the best stuff to just show, yeah, I'm here, I know why I'm here. I want to prove to you that I deserve the next step, and so on, and just focus on that. You don't have to talk about your all projects that you work and everything that you did.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on, Natasha.
Yeah, really quick. Everything that was mentioned before is true, and also what is really important, that no one and not everyone pays attention to it, is to keep the eye contact while you're presenting. Please look directly on the camera. Don't look up. Don't look down. Don't have something in your head like having it and playing with it. And also try to use gestures, open gestures, like from me to you with the one hand and with another hand. It also makes your speech more interesting, and makes the people who are listening to you listening very attentively and still listen you till the end without distracting their attention.
Thank you. Jan?
I just wanted also to mention in general, when it comes to assessment, that assessment is not like an aspiration. Like, you don't go for the assessment asking like, excuse me, hello, can I please be a senior business analyst, please? Like, I've been kind, like, please, really? No, you need to like have confidence, right? You need to walk in there, kick the door and say, where is my senior title, right? You need to radiate with confidence, but remember, confidence, not arrogance, because it's if you will not be confident in yourself, if you will not be confident that you are actually a senior business analyst, why should the committee believe you? Why should the committee treat you with confidence, right? That's why it is very important that the attitude that you have is that this CCC principle that I already mentioned sometime in the past on the, I think, previous Lean Coffee session. CCC standing for clarity, consistency, confidence. Your answers need to be concise, need to be provided with confidence, and need to be provided with clarity, that you know what you're actually talking about. Right? Same thing with the self-presentation. There is, like I've mentioned, this training, human factor of job interview, how to advertise yourself, still following the humble, hungry, smart approach, but at the same time, remember, there is this big question: what is more important, honesty or modesty? If you have some achievements that you have at EPAM in your projects, in your career, outside of the projects, there is nothing wrong to be proud about them. There is nothing wrong to advertise yourself that you have those achievements, but it also needs to be done with a certain style, right? With a certain confidence, not arrogance. That's why really the attitude that you present in the assessment, and that's why hence also you might have the dry runs for the self presentations, that can really help you to get you on the right mindset.
Thank you, Jan. So, Natalia, you have also raised hand. Do you want to add something?
Yeah, I guess I just did not
Okay.
put it below. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on as we have a lot of questions to discuss. So the next one, share your main communication tips for the first meeting with a client.
Marta, Natasha, do you want to, or like, I want to, like, always, step in and.
Maybe we should ask our audience, guys. Do you want to share your, I don't know, opinion? experience? How do you usually do that? Okay, if no, so let's start Jan with you.
Okay, I have really just one very important tip, which is there's a English proverb saying that it's always better to say 2 words too little than 1 word too much. Therefore, the attitude that I always have when I have the first meeting with the client is like, I speak less and I listen more. I try to see what is the communication style with the customer, and I try to adapt to it. And sometimes it is very tricky because, from one point of view, we want to be super proactive, we want to be super helpful. And I remember being, a young, unexperienced business analyst. When I had, for example, a conversation with the customer about some requirements, even before the customer finished the sentence, I was already solutionizing because I tried to be very helpful and come up with ideas how we can solve that problem before really understanding what the problem is all about, right? And it makes no sense to provide solutions to an unknown problem. That's why I think active listening is the most important aspect. And there is this multi-award winning musical called Hamilton. In that musical, Alex Burr is sharing a thought about how to communicate better. He says that talk less, smile more. And I very much also like this advice as well, because while we are smiling to our counterparties, we are also more endearing, and we are also like more welcoming their thoughts and their suggestions, or for example their questions, their problems. And psychologists say that there is a very small trick how you can improve the positive outcome of a conversation. Whenever customer tells you something, asks you a question, give yourself between 5 and 10 seconds to answer, even if you know the answer straight away, because it creates a suggestion to your counterparty that you actually analyze the problem, analyze the question, and your answer is well thought and well structured. Small trick, but really can help improve the outcome.
Thank you. Natasha?
Actually, Jana already told most of the things that I was thinking of, but yes, of course, listen, be polite, smile, and try to ask questions as well, so that the customer would understand his value, the value of his words, the importance of him to you, his opinion to you, and yeah, don't be nervous. Try not to be too nervous or too shy. Just take it easy. It's at the same time it's your customer, but it's a human, it's a person at the same time. And yeah, you should just have try to have an easy conversation.
Okay, thank you. Next hand is from the audience, Vilina.
Yeah, from my experience, very important point is preparation. And if you can collect some data, some information about this client, about some approach or some previous experience from your teammates, it can be also helpful because you can build your communication and you can have some expectation how it can goes, and also be ready to share some few words about yourself, because sometimes it's confusing when the client ask you about yourself and you don't know what to say. And be ready to turn on your camera. I had a funny case when I was not ready and I was sitting in a funny t-shirt with the kitten and I was sharing and I saw that client turn on camera and I understand, okay, I also need, and I was sitting with red face with this kitten t-shirt, but it was in any case it was a funny moment. And yeah, preparation is also always important and will help to fight your stress.
Thanks, Marta.
Yeah, something exactly what Evelina said, that yeah, come to the meeting with at least some basic understanding of what is important for the client, what is maybe the problem that we are trying to solve here, and try to present your perspective and say like, so I read documentation, I read a little bit about it on the internet. This is my understanding. Can you correct me if my understanding of what we are trying to solve here is correct, and let the customer basically take off from here and guide you and say, yes, you understood it correctly, or no, there's actually a little bit more into the story, and yeah, and this is what I would like to discuss with you. So definitely be ready to listen, but also have a little bit of understanding of what we are trying to fix, what we are trying to help with, so the customer has this assurance that you just didn't come here and like, oh yeah, let's talk about the stuff that you don't really know much, but yeah, you show that you're curious, you want to understand, you want to help.
So thank you, and I just want to share my own experience about one client. So about turning on camera. So I joined the call in advance. So I turned on my camera, and so my clients were from Emirates, and so 3 or 4 men joined the call. So but without any camera. So and I asked them, so should I just turn off my camera? And they just said, so no, you are very beautiful. So it's okay just to look at you. But still, the whole call, the whole session, so I was alone with my camera. So it was like a bit strange. So, but still, just don't be. So don't worry. Excuse me. So don't be like in a hurry. Just turn on your camera. But still, so expect some unexpected situation. Just don't be in a stress with them. Also, yes, Jan, your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that exactly what you said about this, that we have no influence over the audience, right, and the participants of the call. We can only show a good experience ourselves, a good practice ourselves, and just hope that others will follow, others will behave the same way. And this is actually super funny. Like yesterday, I was conducting one training session. No, sorry, on Tuesday, one training session, and none of the participants had the camera turned off, or maybe 1 or 2 had the camera turned on out of around 30 people. And when I send them to breakout rooms, after they're coming from the breakout rooms, in the breakout rooms, in a smaller group, everyone had the camera turned on. Now they join the main room after the breakout room activity, and suddenly everyone turns off their camera. And I was like thinking, why? What's the reason why people in the smaller crowd can share their camera, but in the wider group they are more shy? I guess probably because I talk too much and they are just bored with my talking, so they don't want to see me that they are doing some other activities. That could be the reason. But in general, yeah, very important aspect is to just show best practices, even if others are not following them.
Okay, thanks, Jan. Okay, let's move on with the next.
One second,
Yes.
because Ivan raised his hand.
Yes.
So
hi colleagues, I'm glad to see all of you. I want just to mention about turning on of cameras. Usually participants are unaware that if they don't turn their cameras when yours is on, they are in some way harassing you. I'm now working with a client. It's an American company, and they recently sent to all employees an email about harassment, and the first point in the list is not turning on your camera when your opponent turned it. So maybe some younger colleagues, some juniors or even middles or even seniors are unaware that it's not good to turn off your camera when you see your opponent.
one important aspect is as well that look at one cultural factor as well, because when we work from home and we share our camera while being at home, we kind of invite people to our home place, right? We kind of show them how we look, and sometimes we don't feel confident, especially when, like during the pandemic, when the kindergartens and schools were closed. There were 3 kids running around, playing with the dog every now and then. So that's not necessarily very comfortable situation. But in that case, there is nothing wrong to say, apologies that I will not turn on my camera, and thank you for understanding. My inhabitant conditions at the moment are not presentable, and just to explain why the camera is not enabled. There is nothing wrong with that. But if we just don't turn it on, and I remember, oh, this is so funny. It's funny, stressful. I was doing a presentation for senior management, like track B level 3 and higher, on presentation skills, and none of the participants enabled their camera. And none of the participants, whenever I was asking a question to the audience, they didn't answer any questions. And I was like thinking, am I doing this presentation just for myself? Are they with me on this presentation? Or maybe, they just don't enjoy the presentation at all. In the end, I received a good feedback. It was like a 4.8 on a scale from 1 to 5, so not bad. But this whole experience that, like, am I right to actually ask them to I don't know, turn the camera on or not? They're way higher in the company than I am, right? And turns out a colleague of mine who is an L&D trainer, he said, Jan, it's very simple. I don't begin my training until people will enable their camera or tell me why they cannot enable the camera. And sometimes he's wasting 15 minutes of the training time just for the people to enable the camera. And I was like thinking, wow, now that takes a lot of courage and a lot of guts. But definitely with the customer, we cannot do that. We cannot force them. We can only present the best versions of ourselves, and yeah, just to be good in that.
Thanks. Okay, let's move on with the next question. So
before yeah, Zhenya, just one question to the overall group and audience. Can you give us like a plus in the chat, or unmute and share thoughts, whether the suggestions that we give and that we provide are useful, valuable? Do you maybe have some additional questions to one of those, or everything is clear and everything is good? 1 thumbs up, yay. 2 thumbs up, yay. Or even 3, and a plus in the chat. Okay, good. Sorry, yeah, just wanted to make sure that we are fulfilling the needs, because we can just have a conversation and talk between ourselves, but we want to share our experience and our thoughts with you to make it as useful and as valuable for you as well. So hence, any feedback is more than welcome.
Okay, perfect. How to develop skills of improvisation?
I think, Marta, you did mention that. No, sorry, Natasha, you did mention that when you will be talking about with the previous question. So feel free to take it away.
So this is a very interesting topic, because improvisation is a lot about living in the moment, a lot about power of now, the power of exact moment you're in. And this is improvisation is a lot about self-evaluation, about self-love and self-confidence. If you would see of who are the great improvisers, the actors, if you would see, or the any people who are on the stage, like singers or actors, if you would see any of popular, mostly now popular people of show business, they are all very self-loving. For at least they are showing that they love themselves very much. So for me, this improvisation skill is a lot about bringing your personality, bringing your inner world to outside. So this is about not to be shy, to show yourself. And we are all well-developed people. We are all well-educated people. We are all interesting people. Otherwise, we would not be working in such a nice company as EPAM. So that already means that you are cool, you are great, and just add this little spice, which means don't hide yourself. Just the things that come into your mind are already for sure interesting. And if you do it with self-confidence, it would be interesting to the people you are speaking with. And yeah, just follow the flow. And one thought is going out from the other thought. And if you just have this confidence and self-love, and you're not shy to bring yourself outside, just go with the flow, and it's easy and it's fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah, history about self-love. Very inspired, Natalia. Thanks.
I would like to just mention a couple of important things. It again comes all to practice, and even when you have the people who are stand-up comedians, they also test their materials before they record a special for Netflix, Comedy Central, or whatever. So it's not that they can just master a great comedy program without any trial runs, right? So it's definitely preparation is important aspect of that, but also when you play in a band, there is right or wrong way to do that, right? I mean, if you will suddenly start playing something completely different, you can throw off the remaining members of the band. When you do public speaking, when you do a presentation, there is no right and wrong way. Everyone has their own style. Everyone needs to develop their own style. So don't treat it like a performance with a group of people. Just treat it as your own performance. And those situations where you, for example, make a mistake, Robin Williams used to say that it is like a Buddhist gift, that sometimes when he made a mistake with the script, turns out that the mistake he made and the lines that he had to improvise were way better than the ones written in the script. And sometimes the directors decided to leave those scenes in the final version of the movie. I remember when we had EPAM 5th birthday, it was like a very big event. We had a conference area booked. Around 300 people were present there. There was the head of voivodeship of Pomeranian voivodeship of Poland. There was head of the office park where EPAM has its office. There was head of Poland who came, and each of those people gave a speech. And I was standing there on the stage, and I was translating. So when the head of this office park came on the stage, he started to say, like how happy he is that EPAM is renting the office space, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I started to translate that into English. He looked at me and he said, this was supposed to be in English. Okay, so then he started to talk in English to the audience. And I knew that we had Polish-speaking people in the audience who didn't speak English. So I was like thinking to myself, like, I thought this to myself, but turns out I said it out loud. And I said, okay, so now I need to translate to Polish. And I said this out loud, and everyone just burst out with laughter. And it actually helped, like this small mistake, it helped greatly because it reduced the pressure of the entire, like so-called official meeting, that suddenly everyone started to enjoy that particular situation just because, like I said, I didn't know I was saying this out loud. And then I just, switched and I translated from English to Polish, and we went the entire rest of the presentation. The head of office park was then saying a sentence in Polish. I was translating that to English. Then he was saying English. I was translating that to Polish. So much fun, so much entertainment, but completely because of a small mistake that happened on that particular scene. And sometimes those mistakes can help you to actually achieve a good result either way, just because of this improvisation.
Thanks, Jan. And just not speaking about improvisation itself, but still about such mistakes and jokes. Just if you watched Be Excellence, for example, conference. So just during this conference, we had one speaker from another company. So it was your first attempt to like speak to such a big audience, and she was like very nervous, so she made a lot of mistakes, but still all the time she tried to, I don't know, to joke, and even highlight her mistakes. So in the very beginning she said so that it's like my first time when I present something to such a big conference. So, and it was okay. So the whole audience were involved just in her presentation, in her interaction part. So it's okay just to make such things. And as Evelina just wrote in our chat, so such mistakes make us more human. So why not?
No. Completely audience disregard what Zhenya just said, because my big, like, out of many things which I learned over the course of years as practicing presentation skills, if we already show to the audience that we are nervous, that we are stressed, and we tell about this, like, it already can turn some of the audience members against us. So if we are nervous, why do they put a nervous speaker in front of us, right? It's some of them, yes, can be supportive, but it's more important just, again, still to appear confident and appear as a well prepared speaker. If we already come and say, well, apologies, that I'm here, sorry, yes, self-depreciating humor is the safest option of all the humor available, but at the same time, there are cultures that will not accept a person that, they will think, okay, so in that case, why do you put this unprepared, nervous speaker in front of us instead of, having someone who might be confident and competent? That's why it is a very, very risky advice. I have also shared with you in the chat the link to the training that our colleague, funny enough, a junior software engineer, is conducting on actually practicing improvisation in presentation delivery. Very cool training. I was guinea pig when he was testing that training program, so it's good. But one important aspect: the better you know the language in which you will be doing a presentation, the easier it will be for you to improvise the content of that presentation, right? So if you don't feel comfortable with using English language, try not to improvise. Try then to stick to the presentation content. And remember, we all want to have amazing, great presentation skills and to make the audience love us from the very first slide. I have as other suggestion: dare yourself to be dull, dare yourself to be boring, allow yourself to firstly make a boring presentation, boring slides, and then build on top of that. Treat it as a foundation and build on top of that to enhance it with every practice run, with every exercise that you will be doing, because you will not be able to climb Mount Everest if you will try today. But if you will practice over the course of 1 year, and you'll be doing various exercises, the Mount Everest might seem like something very far away, very difficult to achieve. But if you will focus on the path underneath your feet and you think about what you need to do today to get you closer to the goal, then it will be way easier to achieve that goal. So the first presentation that you will do does not have to be the best presentation in the world, but allow yourself a steady growth with the presentation skills itself, instead of just aiming for the mountaintops from day one, because that approach can be really discouraging. And that's also the approach, funny enough, which I follow when it comes to weight loss. Yeah, of course, I would love to lose 20 kilograms, and actually, it's a good thing that you only see me from here to top, because you don't see how fat I am. But I don't focus on what I need to do, like, this 20 kilograms, very discouraging. But I focus on what I need to do today to get me one step closer to actually be more lean and more healthy. So that's my also like approach that I follow with other aspects, not only with presentations.
Natash?
Yeah, so I just wanted to add like those about those mistakes that you can make on the stage or while presenting, that this is a lot about turning bug into feature. That of course it's this is not that you should concentrate on or like saying like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm nervous or any of this stuff. No, you should not mention that for sure. But if that happens, just with this positive attitude, with this feeling of how great I am, maybe doing these techniques like hooray technique, when you remembering your victory, it will convince yourself that anything that will be said, and maybe also perhaps you can, if you are a spiritual person, you can ask for any guidance of other power that or other forces that are inside of the universe, you know. And sometimes people are praying, sometimes are people just talking to some figures in the spiritual world. So just everything that works for you, that will give you this positive attitude. Because even any of the acting, I've been into acting classes when I was young, and we did a lot of we did a lot of acting on stage, and none of any act would go like smoothly. Every time something happens, or the music is late, or someone says the wrong words, and if you would react like, oh, what happened, it's not the plan, it would not work. But if you are in this positive attitude, if you are know that you are just enjoying the moment, that you are in some very good time of your life, when you have this ability to present yourself, and this is good for you, you're growing now, this positive attitude would give you the ability to turn those bugs, like mistakes, into features, and really will help you to make it more close to people, and more humanitarian, if I can say that.
There is a
Thanks.
very good exercise on practicing improvisation, and the exercises, you do it in pairs. So imagine with me and Zinia, you know, Zinia, you like giving gifts and receiving gifts, right? That's, I guess, you know, especially during the Christmas time. Imagine I give you a present, like, you know, like I give you an imaginary very big box, and I give you, Zinia, this present is for you. Your goal is to open this box and tell me what is in that box. I don't know what is in that box. You can tell me, for example, Jan, I'm super happy that I have received, I don't know, for example, this roll of kitchen towel, for example. In this very big box, just one roll of kitchen towel. And this is now my goal, to explain you, like, yes, Zhenya, I know you wanted this kitchen towel because of, and now I need to improvise the reason why I think this kitchen towel is actually a good item for you, right? And for example, you can then do the opposite. So you give me like a very small box, and just tell me that there's something. And I say, oh wow, how did you manage to squeeze in this skateboard into this small box? And like, thank you so much for the skateboard. Like, how did you know I want it? And now you need to improvise why I exactly need a skateboard. Very small exercise, but a very good to practice the improvisation of finding the reason, how we can address and how we can just again also even build connection with one another. So that's also some team building activity which I sometimes did in the past with my customers, when we had the meet and greet session with the customers.
Yeah, cool one. Okay, so we have 2 minutes left, and I believe we can just take only one question. So it's up to you what one we should choose.
Difficult choice.
I think the first one in any case will be covered on the next Lean Coffee session with the imposter syndrome.
Yes.
So I think definitely we can just encourage people to join that session. And if the client don't make contact in communication. Marta, Natasha? You want to kick it off?
Yeah, I think some clients, some stakeholders are not that easy, and sometimes they're very busy, and it's not that easy to catch them. From your side, what what I would think to be professional is first of all put any of your emotions, like, oh, maybe he doesn't like me, or why he's not communicating, like, out. No, nothing of this. Keep it professional. Do everything that is required from you. So I would advise you to send emails and warning a person, not warning, but send emails so that you have evidence that you did from your side everything for this communication to happen. And yeah, just keep it to the writing, so that if the problems are gonna start happening, because if the lack of communication is always can lead to some kind of problems, you will be having the evidences that from your side you were making arranging the meetings, writing emails, warning a person that you need the answer for this, because you cannot continue, and it should be in a written form.
Thanks. And we're out of time. So thanks for joining us today. So if you still have any questions, so you can use this board. You can just put your questions here. So we will try to clarify them in our stream. So maybe just on other sessions. So don't worry about that. So we are waiting for your feedback. So just please write in the chat, or maybe in our stream, or you can just write directly to our experts. Or they thank you just using pages. So it's up to you. So yes, happy Thursday, I guess.
Yeah.
Friday. I just
sorry, not yet Friday.
Little Friday,
Not
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you guys, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Yeah, goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Stay
Bye.
safe.
Bye, guys.